Aloha, it's Kiana, and here are today's top Hawaii headlines from the editors at the Honolulu Star-Advertiser. Also, huge mahalo to Long's Drugs Hawaii for sponsoring the show. Head on over to your neighborhood Long's Drugs for all your shopping needs. Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin has been sentenced to 21 years in federal prison for violating George Floyd's civil rights. Chauvin agreed to a sentence of 20 to 25 years as part of a plea deal in December. Prosecutors sought the high end of that range, arguing that the former police officer killed Floyd in cold blood. Chauvin's attorney said his client was remorseful and sought 20 years. During Floyd's arrest in May 2020, Chauvin, who is white, knelt on Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes as the black man pleaded that he couldn't breathe. Floyd's killing sparked protests in Minneapolis and around the world over police brutality and racism. Chauvin is currently serving a 22.5-year sentence on state charges of murder and manslaughter for the same incident. The plea deal calls for Chauvin to serve the sentences at the same time and will see him transferred to a federal prison, where he will likely be safer and may be held under less restrictive conditions. Prime Minister Boris Johnson has agreed to resign as leader of Britain's Tories after a series of scandals led to a revolt from his own party. In an address made outside number 10 Downing Street on Thursday, Johnson said that he would immediately step down as leader of the Conservative Party, but would stay on as Prime Minister until his successor is chosen. Details of the process will be announced next week. The last leadership contest took 6 weeks. Today's announcement follows a wave of resignations from top government officials who quit over Johnson's latest scandal, which involved the appointment of a politician accused of sexual misconduct. The 58-year-old Johnson was swept into office 3 years ago on the back of Brexit promises. As Prime Minister, Johnson managed to pull Britain out of the European Union and steered it through the COVID-19 pandemic. But he also faced accusations that he was too close to party donors, protected supporters from corruption allegations, and misled Parliament about parties that broke his own COVID-19 lockdown rules. Former Theranos executive Ramesh Sunny Balwani has been found guilty on all 12 counts of defrauding both investors and patients who relied the company's flawed blood tests. The 57-year-old former Theranos chief operating officer and ex-boyfriend of disgraced CEO Elizabeth Holmes will face sentencing in November. The 38-year-old Holmes was convicted on 4 counts of investor fraud and conspiracy earlier this year. During that trial, she accused Balwani of sexually and emotionally abusing her, allegations Balwani denies. Both Holmes and Balwani face up to 20 years in prison. Theranos promised revolutionary blood analysis technology that could get test results from just a few drops of blood. But the device didn't work, forcing Theranos to move testing to conventional machines and regular blood draws. Balwani oversaw lab operations and supervised a deal to set up mini labs at Walgreens pharmacies. Holmes and Balwani's fortunes began to unravel in 2015 after the Wall Street Journal published a series of articles exposing serious flaws with Theranos' technology. A 21-year-old man has been arrested in connection with the alleged armed robbery of a Kapalama convenience store early Wednesday. Police said a masked man brandishing a handgun entered a 7-Eleven on North King Street shortly after 2 o'clock in the morning. He demanded money and threatened the store employee. The suspect fled the scene with an undisclosed amount of money, but he was located in Iwilei about 5 hours later. Police arrested the man on suspicion of first-degree robbery. No injuries were reported in the incident. WNBA star Brittney Griner pleaded guilty to drug possession charges on the second day of her trial in Russian court. Griner was detained at a Moscow airport in February while returning to play basketball in Russia. Police said they found vape canisters containing cannabis oil in her luggage. Griner told the court that she didn't intend to commit a crime and said that the canisters were packed unintentionally. The 31-year-old Phoenix Mercury center and 2-time U.S. Olympic gold medalist could face up to 10 years in prison if convicted. A guilty plea could set up a potential prisoner exchange between the U.S. and Russia. The White House continues to characterize Griner's detention as wrongful, but it has not publicly committed to a particular diplomatic strategy beyond seeking her release. Griner's next court appearance is scheduled for July 14th. For more on these stories and all the latest headlines, subscribe to the Honolulu Star-Advertiser. Visit Hawaii's top source for breaking news online at staradvertiser.com and download the Star-Advertiser mobile app. Mahalo, have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.